Gatalaska Herlock, and I'd like to join with others in welcoming Minister Costello to the Chamber. And I know his West of Ireland background, despite the fact that he represents Dublin, his West of Ireland background would certainly equip him to understand the issues that we faced on that third Friday, the 3rd of January. And certainly my parish of Ennistimon and Lahinch in County Clare was severely affected. Indeed, there was €5.8 million worth of damage done to Lahinch alone, €23.7 million worth of damage done to the Clare coastline. My parish and our neighbouring parishes, the infrastructure was significantly decimated as a result of the freak weather conditions, which was a combination of high spring tides and stormy weather conditions. It's very hard to actually imagine the level of damage done. That's how extensive it was. Not alone to public infrastructure that we all fought very hard to construct in terms of looking for government funding, getting bits of funding here and there. Remember, we got 100,000 over a 2-year period to replace all the railings on the promenade in Lahinch. There were railings that were imported from abroad to ensure that they were weather resistant and to ensure that they didn't rust and so on. Half of them were just wiped away. You look at the streetscape throughout the promenade in Lahinch, it was destroyed. Other areas which didn't get as much profile, places like the White Strand in Miltown Malbay, Clahan in the Scanner Pier, significant damage. But I suppose most importantly of all is the damage that was done to people's homes in Quilty in County Clare, where people are still out of their homes as a result of the damage. Right down the coastline, Kilbaha, significant damage done. Carrigaholt, significant damage done. I have to join with others in commending the fantastic effort that was, I'd call it a mehel really, that was performed by local authority workers in conjunction with the emergency services, both on the 6 o'clock in the morning when the Coast Guard was called to take families out of their homes. They responded with speed and with empathy, which is extremely important. I'd like to commend the hundreds of local Clare people, and indeed people from around the country who saw the damage on television and came down and gave their time helping in the clean-up. It's incredible the amount of rubbish there was in the sea. There was thousands of bags of rubbish collected on the promenade in the Hinch, on the walkways, and from the Hinch Golf Club. I was disappointed, and I have to put this on the record, I was disappointed with the initial government reaction. I cannot understand why the Interdepartmental Emergency Task Force couldn't have met on the Friday. It was well known through the local authorities and indeed the media the severity of the damage on Friday. The meeting should have taken place at lunchtime on Friday, not at lunchtime on Monday. If they didn't understand the damage on Friday, it should have been held on Saturday. I think that noon on Monday certainly sent out all of the wrong signals. It seemed to take 3 or 4 days to pull an emergency response together. If the River Liffey had burst its banks and the same damage was done in Dublin, I have no doubt whatsoever that the Interdepartmental Emergency Task Force would have been meeting on Friday. Also, the communication from government was not what it should have been. I have to credit Brian Hayes. In fairness, he took the issue by the scruff of the neck and at least responded and showed some government leadership.
He's not been held for Monday. He's the minister.
No, I'm saying
someone else is paying for that, of course. Yeah.
I would have appreciated not being interrupted on this particular issue.
Who are you blaming for not
Senator Conway, interruption. Senator Conway, you've 1 minute.
I would have appreciated not being interrupted on this issue. But anyway, so be it. That's politics. And that's what's nasty about politics.
You've been very political there by praising the minister.
The reality is I don't know what minister is responsible for calling the emergency task force together. Even if it is a minister, it's possibly an official is responsible for it. But what I do know is that we need to learn from these mistakes. We also need to have a minister that will take charge of all of the departments when it comes to the response that's needed. The short-term response to protect people in their homes and to get people back in their homes and protect their homes is critical. But also, we need to have a long-term response. I'm told that there's a number of different departments that are responsible. OPW is one, roads is another, environment is another, marine is another. We need a minister appointed that will pull all of those together in order to come up with the long-term response. The 45 million for coastal protection that's in place at the moment is totally inadequate. I think we're talking about a budget 10 times that amount as a starting point, because the only way we can prevent this from happening again is to ensure that we put the proper structures in place. So I'm going to conclude with just a couple of quick points. Okay, here, look.
Senator, you're well over time.
Firstly, I think we need to change the emergency response mechanisms, and new protocols will have to be put in place. Secondly, communication with families who are directly affected has to improve. A senior official is going to have to be put in place to coordinate communication directly with families who are affected. It's not good enough to expect Oireachtas members to do the communication in times of crisis. There needs to be a proper official response to that type of thing. I think new protocols are essential, and I look forward, and I'll finish on this, I look forward to this minister or some other minister coming in, responding to this debate with proper procedures going forward.